toy.
But there's this gentleman on YouTube, his name, I can't remember his real name, his channel is Spectre Creative. He used to work on the Masters of the Universe line. He was the marketing director for Masters of the Universe for the longest time. And he had a recent episode about Haslab, which changed my mind about what Haslab is.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever, you haven't participated?
I've never backed anything. The only thing that I remotely wanted was the Unicron, but I wasn't about to throw 600s at it.
Right. So he was saying that Haslab is actually more of a PR campaign than it is a Kickstarter program, because the Rancor was released at one of the celebrations, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a cool Rancor."
Mm-hmm.
And they spent so much time talking up the Rancor, and it was just like, you're putting a lot of effort into this PR for the Rancor, and then it never came. And it was shortly after Cookie Monster was part of the Haslab,
Right.
and that failed.
That was the only one that hasn't been funded, right?
Right. And so, Unicron was almost a failure.
But they extended it
They
out.
extended it out. It
I have
was
a
too
feeling.
big to fail.
Yeah. I also feel that the same way about Galactus. I have a feeling that if it doesn't reach, they're gonna extend the date by.
Well, they want like 14,000 back.
$14,400.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So that's more of a PR tool, because the sail barge Katana was only 5,000 at $500, and that's closest to that Kickstarter range. So now they're using it as a way to increase the talk around these modern lines, and I just think that Galactus is just an insane amount of ask, basically. So I was just curious what your thoughts were, if that's accurate.
I mean, I feel like you and I are kind of on the same page for that. Like, you're not the only person that I've talked to that mentioned the amount of backers. Like, my buddies that go on toy hunts with me, they're big Marvel Legends guys too, and that's the first thing that they pointed out. And like, I didn't even notice it at first, but like yeah, the Sentinel was $50 less. It was a $349, but it was 5,000 backers, and it got backed in like 2 days. Like, we know that Hasbro has the money to throw at those big things. Like I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about it being a PR campaign.
Yeah.
But you know, if you can up that from 5,000 backers to what is it, 14,000 or 15,000 backers?
Yeah.
If we can just add 10,000 more people, then that's 10,000 more people that are paying us $400, right? And so I don't know. It's nuts. I definitely think that they could have more successful Haslabs if they kept it. Like, let's break that difference down. Like, let's say 8,000 backers, maybe even 9,000. 10,000 I think is probably pushing it. That would be your absolute max, but 14, 15, that's just way too much, I think.
What was the backers for Razor Crest?
I want to say 10 and 12. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they hit, what, 26?
Well, and also remember, like David said, I think they had a lot of people with the success of how much the sail barge was selling on the secondary market. You had a lot of people buy multiples because it was only like $300.
Yeah, they think it was an investment. $350. And the other thing with the Razor Crest is Yak Face was just like, it's ready to go. But I think Hasbro looked at it and said, well, we don't want to lose money. We don't want this to be clearance on Target and Walmart shelves, because it is a big ask. We want people to be committed. And so they threw it up there. The Cookie Monster failed, so they decided we're going to hold off on the Rancor until the time is right where we feel more confident that Haslab can be more successful.
Well, also, I think the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi seems to be a pretty good time frame for that too. I've not backed anything, and I still regret not picking up that Wampa from you a few months ago. That I'll probably, because that'll be. I feel like it's a given that that's going to be part of the whole 40th anniversary campaign for these things. Like, we're going to get all the repacks of the indoor figures and for the nice Black Series card backs. I'm probably going to throw down on the Rancor, specifically because it's the 40th anniversary set.
Is it a price point thing?
Maybe, yeah. I guess I would say so, for sure. Like, because like, how much is the Rancor? Where are we thinking it's going to be?
I don't know. Like, I look at Galactus, and that's got some lighting to it, so that's $400.
It's $400, and it's 32 inches tall.
And so like Rancor's less than that. Is that 250? Is that too little for?
I don't know. I feel like 2 to 250 would probably be that sweet spot
Mhm.
because the Rancor's not going to be as big as Galactus.
No.
Like,
Right.
the Rancor's probably going to be a Black Series size. So there's,
I think it's about 18 inches, 20 inches in that range.
Right.
That scale.
right. Okay. Yeah, I can
I
see
mean,
that.
it would have to be scaled to a Black Series figure.
Or at least scale-ish.
Right.
Like, obviously, you got to.
Well-
Right.
Well, I mean, look at the TIE Fighter that came out. They were $160 for that TIE Fighter, and you could find it a year later at Bargain Hunt for $50.
That's true.
So would that have been a Haslab if that was available? Would they inflate the price? Because they can just put that right in their pocket. That's direct to consumer.
If they were going to put lights and stuff in that and put electronics in that, I could see them asking $200 at Haslab.
Which Razor Crest doesn't have.
But there's no lights or
There's no
anything?
lights or anything.
Oh my god.
Well, everybody was pretty convinced that at some point one of the tiers would be the electronics.
Mhm.
This didn't happen.
Stretch goal will probably be the. What's his name? The Rancor Keeper. Malakili?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what are some of the other stretch goals for that Black Series?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see them throwing that and throwing some figures in it.
Because whenever are they going to release that guy?
Right. With the Rancor.
The Rancor. Because he'd be a peg warmer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He'd be the new grief card.
Listen to the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast every Tuesday wherever you download your podcast. This is the way.